All right, welcome back to the driveway. I got a new mower here. Well, new to me, obviously. Murray 20 inch, Murray 20 inch, 4 horsepower Briggs. Sun's coming out already, if you couldn't tell. Holy crap, it's getting warm. Anyway, yeah, unknown condition. I got it for minimal, $5 or so. $5 the other day. Estate sale. Husband passed. They didn't know anything about it, so no guarantee, which I wouldn't expect a guarantee anyway. But heck yeah, I couldn't pass it up. Came with the bag. It's the old school Briggs, you know, with the tank and the carb mounted on the side, carb mounted to the tank, tank mounted to the engine on the side. Very basic, no side discharge chute. It did come with the bag, like I mentioned, I think, which is real nice. So this will make a good user mower. Easy, you know, if somebody got a small yard or just starting out, this will make a good one. But let's see if we can get this thing, see if we can find anything out about this. I do, obviously, when I first got it, I pulled the cord. There is compression, so that's good. Compression is half the battle right there. Sometimes compression can be an easy fix. Other times, if you saw my last video, it'll totally destroy an engine, and you know, there is no coming back from it. So, but I checked the oil already. It was low, yeah, a little about halfway on the dipstick, just over about the add mark, but still on dipstick. I did go ahead and put some of my used oil in there. I'm not going to put good oil in there yet, just to bring it up so it's safe to start it, safer to start it. The fuel tank has got just some residual in it, and it stinks. So I'm not even going to bother dumping fresh fuel into the tank to see if anything works, because we're going to pull that off anyway and flush it out. But we can pull the air filter, which is, yeah, it's dry and bad, because you can see, I don't know if you can see my finger leaving imprints, and that is a bad filter. So we'll change the filter, of course, instead of just cleaning it. Oh boy. Yeah, we may not even, you know what, what's it gonna hurt? It's not gonna suck much down. I know there's people screaming right now, what do you mean it's not gonna suck much down? That's all down there. We're not firing it up for long. For what's in there, it'll flush through. We'll at least know if we got spark, we'll know if it runs, and we'll go from there. So good, bad, or indifferent, that's what we're doing. What we got to lose, right? Putting some two-stroke oil in, or not two-stroke oil, but two-stroke fuel. How you like them apples? Second pull, fire it up. So good enough for me. We've got spark, we've got compression to run. We'll find out what year is this when I pull that cover off. Yeah, it's not on this side, I don't think. There should be a stamping on the fan shroud cover, whatever you want to call it, starter cover. Anyway, we'll figure out what year this is once I pull that apart. But we're going to go ahead and pull the carburetor off, clean that all up, and go from there. Actually, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and clean this. So let me just hose it off. You guys seen me clean stuff before probably. If not, squirt it down for some degreaser, hose it off, just to get some of that dirt out of the way, make it better to work on. So I'll bring it back when we're ready to start pulling the carburetor off. Holy smokes, those are long screws. I was not expecting them to be that long. Well now, there's no more screws that I know of. A little plastic tab. Yeah, not too bad under here so far. It's odd, this bolt is bent. When I get ready to, I'll clean all this up underneath. Surprisingly no mouse nests or whatever else, just a little bit of gunk built up in a couple spots, but not bad otherwise, really. Ah, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's a guy wanting some, wonder if I had any metal, scrap metal for the trash. I wish I did. Save me from having to take some, store stuff here, but so far I've only got one deck and one junk engine block. I guess I could have gave him that aluminum block, but that's okay. It's not taking up space yet. Oh. I'm actually gonna put this one bolt back just so that I know where that went. Not that it wouldn't be hard to figure out, but at least I know where that guy goes. This has got a little bit different spring setup. Usually the spring stretches clear up to a tab here. This tab's clear over here. Heck, looking at, you know what? This thing's missing the throttle cable, actually, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a throttle cable because this does not have any way to control or kill the engine. I'm gonna have to look at that a little bit more once we get this apart. Maybe look up the diagram on Parts Tree. Look up the diagram for this linkage stuff. Generally there's a wire, which I'm not even seeing that. Maybe I'm just been working on a bunch of other newer stuff for so long that the older stuff like this I'm not familiar or not remembering properly. But yeah, there should be a way to, unless you just gotta come up here and, I guess you could control it by hand. That might be too. This is just so old that it's controlled by hand. There still should be some kind of way to kill the kill the coil, other than just when you do this, it chokes itself out. Possibly. We'll look into that later though. All right, let's get this guy up on the workbench and we'll take this out apart and clean everything up. Okay. Here's hoping that the diaphragm under here is still good. I will look at it, obviously. Run this through the ultrasonic to clean all this crud off. Well, I guess I'll spray it off first, just so I'm not putting extra dirt in my ultrasonic. But come on. Try to go slow so we don't, the gasket's sticking, or the diaphragm. Half and half. There we go. Yeah. Surprisingly, the screen at your fuel filter on these guys, screen there is clean. A little bit of gunk, well, some of that from me now, but really not bad at all. The worst part was right here in the throat. Yeah, we may end up, I think I'm going to order a new diaphragm. That's pretty, I don't know if you can see that real well or not. Pretty dished out, stretched, whatever. These little flaps right here, this flap and this flap are your fuel pump, as the your compression, your stroke, or your intake and exhaust stroke, whatever, the air creates a pulse, will, you know, draw from one side, and as it pressures the other side, it'll, you know, create a flutter effect, drawing in from one side while it blocks the other, and vice versa. As it pumps fuel to fill up, draw up from the tank through the long tube, draws up from the tank, fills up this little bowl that's like the bowl on your other carburetors, sit below the carburetor, and then it'll draw up from there as it siphons, draws up through that screen, and of course through the carburetor. I'm wondering now if you guys can see, actually that's dirt down here. Yeah, that's dirt still. Holy crap, can you guys see that? So yeah, I'm gonna, you know what, this is not gonna get completed today, unfortunately, because I do want to replace that diaphragm, just because that one there is kind of stretched and not laying flat. And yeah, prevent any possible hiccups from it not wanting to pump once we get back together. And you know, in all honesty, we could It's not hard to take the tank off. Everything else can be good to go. And if the diaphragm is bad, it's easy. You've seen it's this bolt and this bolt, and the whole carburetor, or a whole fuel tank and carburetor slide right off. We'll just have to see how hot it gets today, and if I decide I've sweated enough and had enough. Actually, we'll also see if I end up cutting the diaphragm here or not, but that's peeling up pretty good. So we'll see once we get this all cleaned up whether give it a try or not. Yeah, that actually came off really clean. So we may do that. Technically, it's not a great diaphragm though. So I guess I know that there was not much. I don't know if y'all, yeah, you can see down in there. It's kind of orange, kind of yellow, and there is some floaties, stuff, dirt, whatnot floating around in there. So okay. I'm going to drop this as is into the ultrasonic. Scrape off a little bit of the dirt. I'll drop this as is in ultrasonic. This should only take about 5 minutes or so. Get the large clumps off and get that cleaned out down in there. Primer bulb feels good too. A little bit of crazing on it, but it's not bad. It still feels good. No cracks or nothing when I flex it. So I think the primer bulb will still be good. All right, I'm going to throw this in, clean it up, rinse this out with some carb cleaner, and we'll probably just slosh some gas around in it too. And I'll bring you back once we're ready to put this guy back together. Okay, everything is cleaned up. I don't know if you can see down, there's nothing inside. This is actually a really clean tank. I am super surprised. I looked up when I was cleaning the engine off itself, getting the rest of that crud off there. The date code is an 02. July 4th or 4th of July, or yeah, anyway, 020604, which would be 2002 June 4th. Was when the engine was manufactured. So either whoever had this really did take care of it pretty good. There's some stuff on there that was kind of questionable on how well they took care of it, but either they had to replace the tank at some point, or they took care of this pretty good. Point being, everything is pretty well clean. Well, everything is clean. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and reuse the diaphragm here in the gasket, just because I'm impatient, and we'll see if it works. And then I can always get a new diaphragm if need be and throw it in there. But carburetor, of course, all clean. So yeah. This is a plastic carburetor, not a metal one. So that is one indication that it is somewhat newer. And by newer, I mean not 1980, 1970s. Which I didn't think that, I knew that mower wasn't that old. But 23 years? So when you start screws in anything, namely aluminum and plastic, go backwards till you feel it snap or pop, whatever, you'll feel it drop. Just like that. And then you know that your threads are lined up with the threads that were already there, and you will not strip anything out. You shouldn't strip anything out. If you go whole hog with a impact driver, no guarantees. I know I've used an impact driver for a long time, so you know, your trigger control, trigger discipline, whatever you want to call it, real easy with it, but still, you want to be careful. And I'm getting all these down close, snug, and then I'll give one final oomph to them. There's your PCV, or your crankcase, positive crankcase ventilation, crankcase breather. So, just had it. There it is. Fuel cap. Let's go put this guy back on now. All right. Oh. I want to check the clearance on the coil here. It seems really close. It did fire and doesn't feel like it's dragging, but it's really close. So let me grab my card. See if we can't get you set up somewhat to see. Take your card. The clearance is, I believe, generally 10 thousandths on most of these, but business card thickness. Yes, I know business cards vary in thickness also, but it's enough to give clearance so it doesn't drag and damage the flywheel, and it's also close enough that it works. So general consensus from everybody is business card. I'm rotating around to where the magnets are. You'll see this pop in, just like that. That draws up these two sides. It's not going to hit because you got the card in between there for the clearance. And then be careful here. There, that's all that needs. You're going into an aluminum head or aluminum part of the block. You don't need to torque these down super tight, and that's enough to hold that. Then just rotate back out. Oh, holy crap. I can't get a hold of that with my fingers. There we go. Much better. I can actually see a small gap now. Before, I couldn't even see a gap, and I was afraid it was going to start dragging. So anyway. Got a little Z-bend on this other linkage to go in there. There's an O-ring that seals here. And that feels pretty good. That's pretty snug. So that O-ring is still doing its job. Oh, and when I was cleaning this off, I brain farted earlier. Oh, hold on. See, I'm getting ahead of myself here again. Gotta make sure your breather tube is also, your crankcase breather tube is also lined up. Okay. Yeah, when I was talking about the linkage here for your kill switch and all, I just wasn't thinking for whatever. Like I said, I've been working on stuff that's not mounted with your your kill switch, and your brake for your flywheel is on the backside. A lot of stuff is mounted here now, and that's where I was getting confused. And then of course with this style setup, I was getting confused. Anyway, yeah, your kill switch and brake is right here. So here's your kill, and this probably technically could be a set up a little, I don't know if that's supposed to be that floppy or not. We'll have to see when we get her started. But your throttle on these guys, there is no, it stays one constant speed, and that's set by that. So we'll worry about that later. If we need to tighten something up to maintain throttle, we will. Okay. If you guys can see or not, right here is the date code 020406 2002, model number, type, whatever. That's all specific to the engine, what they're what they built the engine for, horsepower rating, and all that. Forgot to wipe this off before, so that's what I was doing now. Just give it a good quick wipe down. This is an oily rag, but that's okay. It'll help protect. Oh, I got 2 screws I got to put in the oil dipstick tube. Kind of odd that that one was bent, but we're going to go with it. That's why that seemed like such a long one too, is because of the invent. It threaded itself out through that plastic. Okay, let's check that spark plug. Ha! That wasn't even tight. I probably could have done it with my fingers. Now, let's get a new one. RJ19LM. New guy, RJ19LM champion. Big old debate online, of course. What plug? NGK champion. Don't use the torches that come with the rebuild kits, whatever it might be. I've not had a problem with champions. If it calls for a champion, I put a champion in. Briggs and Stratton. Plus they're cheaper and it's what I got on hand. Hopefully that's not stripped out. That didn't seem to create much resistance. You know, we're going to leave that on. No, we're going to plug that up. I was going to leave it unplugged because we're going to flip it over and do the blade. But we'll go ahead and fire it up before we change oil. So let's put some fuel in and we'll see what happens. Primer's working good. I don't know if you heard it or not. Heard it gurgle as that first pump, so it's sucking up. Filled up that little bowl that we showed you earlier. And within about 3 pumps, we got squirts coming out. So, all right, primer works. not bad. First pull. And that pump, that diaphragm is working pretty good. It stayed running anyway, I guess I should say. Not knowing just how long the fuel in that bowl lasts, because those first couple pumps you pump up from the tank and fill up that bowl where that screen was, and that bowl wasn't very big. We didn't run the engine very long either, but yeah, ran good, idles good. May mess with, you saw me move that lever. I don't know if it did much or not. We'll mess with the spring tensions. Otherwise, those two springs, that's for your, that'll apply more pressure to that white vein there, if you will, or whatever, to adjust idle speed. I'll mess with that in a bit. But I think right now, I'm going to fire it back up again, let it run for a few minutes to get all that oil circulated and warmed up, and any gunk that might be sitting in the bottom maybe loosened up a little bit, hopefully. And then we'll tip her on her side and change the oil and sharpen the blade. So let me go ahead and start back up again, and I'm gonna, like I said, run it for a bit, and I'll bring it back when we're ready to tip her on her side. Alright, ran that while I rounded up some stuff to do the blade and whatnot. Well, my stool doesn't roll very well right now. Anyway, that actually even shut down good. I was surprised. Yeah, the throttle controller, you can idle it down, idle it up manually if you wanted. So looks like I got a little bit of a leak right around there. Actually, that might be coming from the breather tube there. Which I've got new gaskets of that, so we might be okay there. We'll see. It smoked for a bit on startup, but that cleared up. That's probably from sitting and whatnot, so we'll run it and see what, you know, run it for a bit. Obviously, I always use my stuff couple times before I even attempt to put it online to sell or whatever. Make sure everything's going to work good. So and good. This has got the let me unplug the spark plug for the guys that want to scream and shout about unplugging a spark plug. But I always I prefer, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter technically. I prefer having drain plugs on the bottom. That way you know you're getting everything out. Not just wondering if there's still ½ inch sitting in the bottom or not of old oil and crud. You can see there's actually pretty decent under, there's something right here. Some mud. Grass, but other than that, it's rusty, but it's not bad. Blade looks decent too. It's straight, it's not dinged up or nothing. Definitely needs an edge put back on it. So this makes it easy too. You take your blade off, do whatever scraping you want, pop your drain plug out. And we'll tip her back up and let her drain sitting upright while we sharpen the blade. Okay, let me sharpen the blade and I'll be right back. Heck, I hope y'all can see it. Looks kind of dark in the viewfinder, but is what it is at this point. This is just the blade adapter. It's keyed. Yeah, keyed internally on this. That bad boy got warm. Attached directly to the engine, obviously. Edge was pretty good, pretty easy to put on here. This is a mulching blade and a high lift. It's got a real high lift to the scoop there, and then this up here, as stuff circulates around, this will give you a second cut. Get your all that grass mulched up good. But makes them kind of hard to, do with a grinder sometimes. It's easier to do manually, but at the same time, who wants to do stuff manually, right? All right. I was just checking for any kind of off balance, bent blade. Probably could have done that first, but I didn't feel any vibration was running, so I figured the blade was probably good. So, all right. As always, we got our AMSOIL small engine. Boy, that is dark in there, isn't it? Better, maybe, maybe not. Is what it is. Yeah, AMSOIL small engine, 1030 going in. 18 ounces. Let me get a rag. For anybody debating, 1030 is a safe bet all around for small engines like this. If you're way up north in the really cold, 530 is fine. If you're way down south, heck, I guess some guys even put 1540 in. I don't know. But 1030 is a safe bet for all around. Look up your owner's manual. See what it says, and it'll probably give you a couple different variations for locations and whatnot, but 1030 is a safe bet all around. Can't go wrong. When it heats up, you're still going to be at a 30 weight oil, and that's what they go by. The first number is just for ease of cold flow when it's cold. Stuff heats up pretty quick and gets up to that operating temperature. All right. The air filter, I do not have one that fits that. Even though the case looks the same, the air filter that was in this one, which is a newer plastic one from Walmart, they were on clearance, so I picked them up because they were cheap. It does not fit in this unit, so I'm gonna have to get a filter for that. So for now, we're gonna put the plastic one on. Ew, right? I know. But at least it'll have a filter. Also, that filter gets oiled. Don't want to slather it up too heavily. Put some oil on it, rub it around, massage it in, and then blot it out with a paper towel. Trying to feel for that, there it goes, for that screw to drop in the threads like we talked about earlier. Okay. Spark plug. One last thing I want to do is take the wheels off and, you know, clean them up, because they were kind of, I have a feeling, kind of gummy, because it's kind of hard to push. So let me move some stuff out of the way. Take our handy dandy wood block. Yeah, it really doesn't look bad. It looks better than I thought it would. I'm going to clean that up with a little bit of oil and a rag. Put some new stuff on there, and that'll be good. Yeah, there really isn't anything to clean up off here. I really thought that was going to be gummed up a lot more than it is. Maybe even a little bit of rust. All right, I'm going to do the other three. Now I'll bring you back when we're done. All right, well, there we go. Not too bad. I don't know, that took me an hour and a half, with filming and everything. Not bad at all for a $5 mower, and be able to turn around and sell this to somebody else pretty cheap too, because I don't have anything in it. A couple ounces of oil, well, 18 ounces of oil, and a little bit of my time. Time is irrelevant to some people and worth way more than it should be to other people. I don't know if that came out right, but yeah, there's a big old debate. You know, time is what it's valued to you. There's a hobby of mine, something I tinker with when I have time, which is a lot of the time, and when it's not 95 degrees out, then I'll do something. But anyway, point being, we saved this guy from who knows what kind of fate may have had, junkyard, otherwise. Good mower. It'll be a great mower for somebody that just either is just starting out or just needs something to mow a small lot. It does have the bag with it, so yeah, I'm gonna definitely use it a few times. Obviously, I always do that, at least 2 or 3 mows of my own yard to make sure it starts up good and keeps running good, and then I'll see if somebody else wants it. But 2002, 23 years old mower. Appreciate y'all watching. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, you know what to do. I'll either answer you or I'll laugh at you, one or the other. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.